Top of the Sunday morning to you, YouTube. Back with one of my last few Transformers reveals for the time being. Another Decepticon today. As I stated last time, I'm super excited about him. He is one of my favorites. You're all gonna love him. And by all, I mean maybe the one person who watches these. This Decepticon was Megatron's bona fide number 2, I guess. I don't think that's ever officially stated, but just by watching, who he trusts and who he's always, getting to back him up and stuff. This guy is the guy. He is big, he's strong, he's quiet, he's the strong silent type, but don't let that fool you, depending on whether you read the comics or watch the TV show. The TV show, he's a bit more mysterious and you don't really know, but in the comic books, he's a little more devious, trying to climb to the top of the Decepticons and doesn't care about who he takes down within his own ranks to get that. But that's more the comic books. In the TV show, you don't really know. He's just kind of quiet, mysterious. He's an expert at communications and monitoring them, espionage, that sort of thing. But he's also a fierce warrior. So without further ado, this character, if you haven't figured it out already, is Soundwave. So Soundwave was, like I said, he was big, he was strong, but much like Shockwave last week, it's the cartoon magic where this big robot can transform down into a little device. In Shockwave's case, it was a gun. In Soundwave's case, it is a radio cassette player, 80s, right? Not a CD player, not a MP3 player, but a cassette player. So he could shrink down into a tiny cassette player, be left places to monitor and eavesdrop on people. This happened numerous times with places that Decepticons wanted to attack that were run by humans. Sometimes he was left inside the Ark at the Autobot HQ and kind of monitored what was going on there. And on top of that, in his cassette deck, he could unleash an army of minions. There was at least 4 of them, I think more that came along later in the day. And these cassette tapes transformed into different types of animals mostly. Actually, no, they're kind of split. Some flying animals, some jungle animals, some smaller robots, and they would have different functions depending on what Soundwave's job was and what he was looking to accomplish. And so that was kind of another interesting, unique aspect to Soundwave. On top of the fact that he turns into a cassette player, he also has these kind of little side minions that can do his bidding and stuff like that. So here's a look at his G1 toy. It was one of my favorite toys. I never had this guy when I was a kid, so I'm super excited to get him now. And look how big he is, right? So I never had his toy, and it was probably one of the better ones. I think because it was just like basically a rectangular block when he was in cassette player mode, and then the thing just kind of unfolded around it, so it was easier for them to do like a really good mold with it. And his cassette deck popped open, and you could put one of the cassettes in there. It was really neat. And then here, just so you can get a sense of what he looked like in the G1 cartoon, and his voice was awesome. He didn't speak much, but his voice was amazing. It was like this robotic synthesized thing. He's very similar to Shockwave in some ways, but also not in others. Like, they're both kind of like these computer robot guys, but I think Soundwave is actually a little bit more ruled by emotion than logic, more than Shockwave is, but he just never kind of lets his intentions known because he's so quiet. But anyways, here is a clip from one of the first few episodes of the G1 series.
Hey, turn your tape player down, will you? That's not... What is it?
Laser beak, prepare for flight. Operation Distraction.
Fire it! Take cover! Run for it!
Generators under Decepticon control. Well done! Begin production!
So there you get a sense of what he looked like in his cassette mode, the size difference from when he's in that and when he transforms, his voice. He unleashes Laserbeak, one of his minions, on people, and you can see he had other functions, like he was creating energon cubes out of his deck as well. So he was a very valued, versatile, strong, competent robot that Megatron, I think, was one of the guys that Megatron worried least about in terms of frigging things up or trying to wrest control of the leadership from him. Not that necessarily he should have not been worried about that with Soundwave. It's just you don't know because he doesn't talk, right? So I'm super excited to get him out of the box and see what he looks like. This is one of the ones I've been most looking forward to. So let's pop this open and see what's inside. Here we go with the Soundwave. He's actually called Soundwave. This is the first one that hasn't had like a weird name. So I kind of like the weird names. It's a little something funny to look forward to with each of these guys. How much bigger this box is compared to the other ones. So pumped to see what's in here. He is in robot mode, unlike all of the other ones who have come in their alternate forms. Oh my god, he looks amazing. This is fantastic. So, look at that. That is beautiful. Just makes me want to cry right there. Oh boy. I'm verklempt. So here is a... this pops open for something or other. Look at this. Soundwave was one of the ones who most fired Megatron whenever Megatron transformed into his gun mode. And it comes with a Megatron blaster. That's fantastic. And then we got a spare blaster. Whatever this is. Not sure what that is, but we will find out. And we got, it looks like an alternate. Well, here's what looks like, I'm assuming, oh, it's a cassette tape case, but it's like the Energon color. Oh my god, it's amazing. And that looks like it's an alternate faceplate for his cassette deck. Probably for something to do with one of their episodes. And then, of course, it comes with one of his minions, and this is Laserbeak, probably his most popular guy. So that's the cassette tape there that would go inside him and then transform into the little bird of prey or whatever the heck it is. And then, of course, oh, it's got a history of Soundwave thing in it. Oh, that's neat. Oh, this one's kind of different. Of course, collector's card. Love it. And then yeah, the instructions are a little bit different. They got a picture on it and it's more like a booklet instead of like a folded page. So that's kind of weird because they're all the same line, so I've never seen anything quite like this before. And then the history of Soundwave on the back. G2, he's some sort of weird yellow and red car. Like, I've never seen that before. Look at that one, he's got an axe. He's riffing. And then... oh, it looks like it can hold up to 3 cassette tapes in here. Oh, you can push that back. So that's neat. Boom. Laserbeak's inside. It looks like you can shove 3 guys in there. Not sure how much I'd want to frig around with it though. Last thing I want to do is break anything, but anyways, there he is in his amazing robot form. And I'm going to do a time lapse to take him down into his cassette player form. And then, yeah, that'll be it. So let's switch over to time lapse. So here he is in all of his glory. Isn't it wonderful? I am so pumped to add him to the shelf this afternoon. I have a special place of honor for him. The transformation I thought was going to be super easy because he's basically just a rectangle that everything folds in and up around and stuff, just like the original toy. And it wasn't that bad. It was actually a little more complex than Shockwave's last week, whose I thought would be really easy as well. But I thought this one would be even easier, but it wasn't. It was a little more difficult. The only real hang-up I had was, here's Laserbeak in his... He actually has a little sensor that pops up on his head, but it's so small and I have no nails that I can't get it to come up yet, but I will do that. When the legs kind of fold up and in and around and come up along the side, there's a little hook inside the arm here where this foot kind of clasps in to make it stay tight and not fall away from the body after the arms fold back. And I could get this side out okay afterwards, but this side was just rammed in there. It wouldn't let go, so I had to like stick a steak knife in and kind of pry it away. And I don't think I did any scraping, permanent damage or anything, or very minimal anyway, so that was good. And this is why I won't be transforming them other than the first time, because I don't want to damage them in any way. They're too important to me to do that. So yeah, so I mean, here's the Megatron gun, looks amazing, and you can even take off the whatever the support handle here, or whatever it would be, and the long barrel. You can take that off, so that it's, and the sight too, so that's just the regular handgun. His other gun back here actually hooks into his body. It looks like batteries kind of on the back of the player when they're all said and done. And it comes out like that, and then, see, I have no nails, so this is just like impossible sometimes. There it is. Okay, so you got that, and then this comes out. So then that's like his regular blaster, but I had to go full Megatron, of course. So, but it's nice. A lot of these characters, when their weapons aren't being used, they're a lot of the times is a spot on their robot form where you can tuck them away or whatever, or in their vehicle form you can tuck them away. This was, I forgot, he has like his hand can retract into his arm, and this is like a sensor or something that he uses for stuff, so I just put that on there to make him look a little different from the rest. Yeah, that's about it. So I think some of the accessories, yeah, there was the cassette tape case to hold Laserbeak, and then the Energon Cube, and then that other faceplate for here, which I'm not sure exactly what that's for, but it's probably related to some episode at some point, or numerous episodes. But anyways, here he is, Soundwave Laserbeak. Arguably my favorite character that I've opened up so far. I think I'd have to say that he is, just because he was such an iconic character that I really loved in the cartoon, and I really wanted as a kid, as a toy, and I never got him. There's been some other ones I've gotten that I was really looking forward to, like Shockwave last week was really cool. Inferno was one of the ones I really wanted. Wheeljack, which I had, I think, 4 characters that I'd already opened way back before I started these videos that I haven't done because I'd already unboxed them before I started these video series. But Wheeljack, Sideswipe, Prowl, and somebody else down there that I have also opened. So I do have, other than the ones you've already seen, I have maybe 3, 4, 5 maybe others that I also have that you just haven't seen. So this is probably his size, his accessories, the fact that I loved him as a kid, never had his toy, and he's such a cool character from the series. I think he's probably my favorite guy so far. So 2 more weeks to go after this week for now. And next week's, I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to ruin the reaction to this next one. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't want to say anything because I'll ruin it. So, yeah, until next week, have a great rest of your weekend. Whatever little is left, enjoy the week coming up, and I will be back next weekend with another unboxing. Toodles.